Hello art beaters, Becky here for artbeats.com, and I've got a brand new video for you today. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a beaded bracelet with fire polished beads, Toho seed beads, and 2-hole CzechMates diamond beads. It's a really intricate and dimensional look that's actually really easy to weave up. So let's dive in. So this is the frozen Tundra bracelet pattern from Starman TrendSetter Kelly Dale. We do have this tutorial available online at artbeats.com. You can download this PDF instruction and print it out. It's got really helpful diagrams and text instructions. And we do have supplies lists for you as well. So you can buy all of the supplies at artbeats.com as well. Hi! Like I said, this project only requires 3 different bead types. I've got 6mm fire polished beads here, Toho seed beads, these are size 11/0 rounds, and then the 2-hole CzechMate diamond beads. So that's all you need. And again, these beads come on the strand and these beads come in tubes, so you'll have plenty to work with. I've got the colors that I've used here linked in the video description, as well as the link to the tutorial. Beyond that, you'll also need some beading thread. I am working with Toho 1G. I've got this dark purple color so you can see the thread in my demo, but you could use the color closer to these if you want to match your thread to your beads. And I've got a beading needle. Size 12 beading needle is my go-to. So I'm going to show you how to make these beaded components. This bracelet is made up of separate beaded components, and then you stitch them all together at the end. And these are really fun and quick to bead, so really we're going to have a lot of fun here. So let's get started. I'm going to start with about 2 feet of thread here. My cutters ended up over here. And I'm just going to add my needle to the thread. There we go. All right, so to start this off, you're going to pick up a diamond bead, a seed bead, and repeat that 3 times. So diamond bead, seed bead, diamond bead, seed bead, diamond bead, seed bead. So you've got 4 diamonds and 4 seed beads on the thread. I'm gonna bring this a little bit closer. There we go. Then you're gonna kind of come back around through the beads, leaving at least a 5 to 6 inch tail. So I've got my tail all set, and then I'm gonna come back up through these beads from the opposite direction to form a loop. And you're going to tie your tail thread to the working thread in a knot to make the loop even stronger. There, so you've got kind of the base of this project started. That looks pretty cool all on itself. What you're going to do from here is take that working thread, go through that first diamond bead you added, same stringing hole, and then you're going to jump up to the second stringing hole of that same diamond bead. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to add the, oh, thank you, someone said they love my nails. They're actually stickers, which I love. I hate painting my nails. I'm really bad at it, and I'm too impatient to let them dry. So I've been doing nail stickers that you just stick on, and they come in all these cute designs. So these ones have like little snowflakes and stars. I like them too. So now we're gonna add our fire polished beads. You're gonna pick up one of those fire polished, and then you're just gonna go through the top stringing hole of the next diamond bead over and just repeat that all the way around your little medallion here. I really love this turquoise color of these fire polished beads because it has kind of a gold finish that works really well with the diamond beads that I've picked out here. Go through that top hole of the next diamond. Pick up a diamond, go through that next hole. pick up a fire polished and go through the next hole of the next diamond over. There we go, we've got our fire polished in place, coming together. This one goes by so quick and easy, it's so much fun. So what you're gonna do from here is go through that stringing hole of the first fire polished bead that you added. Now we're gonna start to add some seed beads. So what you're gonna do is pick up 3 of these seed beads. And I did this fun kind of copper color. Copper always looks so good. It's kind of a terracotta color almost. It always looks so good with this turquoise, and I thought it was a nice contrast to the gold as well. It's funny, these were just beads that I had in my stash at home, and they're all in stock at Art Beads, so I do have these colors linked for you. It's usually when I pick out colors, the first beads that I pick are not always in stock because, you know, we have a lot of popular colors that people are always buying, but these ones were in stock, so I'm so happy. 3 more seed beads, and then you just go through that next fire polished over. 3 seed beads again. Oops. Sometimes they like to jump off your needle. And then go through the next. All right. Those first seed beads are added. So now we're going to start adding these seed beads that come down around the diamond beads. So what you're going to do that, I'm coming out of this fire polished bead. I actually want to come out of this center seed bead here. So I'm going through those first 2 seed beads and I'm coming out of that center seed bead. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to add 3 seed beads. And this is like the trickiest part, but it's really not that tricky. What you're gonna wanna do is come through the adjacent seed bead that's in that inner row between the diamonds. So I've got 3 seed beads and I'm gonna come through that seed bead between the diamonds closest to me. And that's gonna kind of frame the diamonds and the fire polished bead. So now I'm coming out of that seed bead from the first row. I'm gonna pick up 3 more seed beads. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this thread out of my way. I'm gonna come through that next center seed bead in the next row of 3 over and pull. So that's just kind of framing these diamonds and fire polished, and you're just repeating that all the way around. So I'm coming out of that center seed bead, I'm picking up 3 seed beads, and I'm going to come through that next seed bead over in the first row. And it just frames everything so nicely and brings everything together. So coming out of that first row seed bead, I'm gonna pick up 3 seed beads and go through that middle seed bead in the top row again. There we go. Coming out of that center seed bead, I'm gonna pick up 3 more. I'm going to come through this next seed bead over in the first row between the diamonds. This step just really brings it all together. I love the look of these little medallions. They look like little cushions or gemstones or something. I don't know, they look really intricate and beautiful. I just love this weave. So we're coming out of that first row. We're going to come up through that middle seed bead in the top row. Look at that, it's coming together. Pick up 3 more seed beads. And we're going to come through that next seed bead over in the first row. And we've got just 1 more section to add 3 seed beads. And come up through that center bead there. And from here, I've got all of my little seed bead framing done. I'm going to go through this next seed bead over in the section of 3 and through this next fire polished bead. So my working thread is coming out of the fire polished bead. I also am going to want to finish and tie off this tail thread. And you'll just repeat making those little medallions 6 times, which I've already done, and it works up really quick. This probably took me an hour and a half to do all of these, maybe 2 hours if you're watching a Christmas movie while you do it. So really quick for a bead weaving pattern, and it's one that's really easy. You can totally do this while watching a movie or a show or talking to your friends on Facebook Live. All right, let me get this needle threaded. This is the hardest part, is threading your needle. Come on, let's do it. Usually I've gotten pretty quick at this, but sometimes I'm gonna actually use the needle I'm using for my working thread because that one seems to have a bigger eye. I'm having an easier time threading that one. Let's try again. It's so cold out, you guys. It hasn't really gotten above freezing for the past couple days, which is unusual for us, so much colder than we're used to. All right, so I want you to tie off this tail thread, and it's coming out of this seed bead here, so I'm going to go through that so I can work it through the beads that I already have in place. Now I'm going to show you how to add a loop for your clasp and to connect all of these medallions, since I've already made the repeats in advance. So I'm just going to kind of go back through the bead path that I've created here to secure my tail thread. And I'm actually going to knot between this seed bead and this fire polished bead. Just like knot in a couple places to really secure it. Go through that fire polished bead, maybe knot here between these beads, and then go through a couple more beads. Just weave through and knot until it feels secure to you, and then you can trim your tail thread. There we go. And then I'm going to trim that tail thread. There we go. So I have 7 beautiful little beaded medallions here that I need to connect. So let's do that. So I'm going to take this one, and I have to thread my needle again. The never-ending journey of threading needles. You get better at it the more you do it, but sometimes they can still trip you up. All right, that one was fairly painless. So we're already coming out of that fire polished bead. We're gonna add the clasp, or the loop element for adding our clasp. So what you're gonna do here is you're going to add 2 seed beads, a diamond bead. Love these little diamonds. And then you're going to add 6 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're actually going to come back through the other side of that diamond. So I'm coming out of this first hole. I'm going to come back down through this second hole to form a loop with my seed beads. Add 2 more seed beads. And we're going to come back through that same fire polished from the opposite end to loop it all together. Boop. And now I've got a loop for adding a jump ring and a clasp. And I'm going to go back through all of those beads to reinforce, and you can do that as many times as you feel is necessary. It'll just strengthen your loop, which is important when you're adding a clasp. I mean, that's going to be a pulling point in your design, so you'll want to enforce it at least a couple times. So go back through all of these beads, and it'll make them lay nicer too once you've reinforced it. Coming back through. Yay, my loop. So I've got my loop for one side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these 3 edge seed beads on the side of the medallion. So go through these 3, go through the fire polished, and then go through the next 3 edge seed beads until I'm coming out of the fire polished on the opposite end of my loop. And this is where we're going to start to connect the medallions. All right, so now we're in place to start connecting these pretty guys into a bracelet. So what we're going to do here is pretty similar to adding the loop component. You're just adding the medallion component. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 seed beads, a diamond bead, and 2 seed beads. And then from here, you're going to go through a medallion component, a fire polished bead on another medallion component. So I'm coming through that fire polished bead on my second medallion. My nose is runny from the cold. I swear I'm not sick. I went outside earlier and it's just so cold out there. And then, you know, when you're like facing down, looking at your beadwork, sometimes your nose will run. That's what's happening to me. So then we're gonna pick up 2 more seed beads, come back through that diamond bead, add 2 more seed beads, and come back through the first fire polished bead in the opposite direction. And we're going to reinforce that again. Because again, this is a connection point. We want that to be nice and strong. Look how pretty that is. I'm loving these colors so much. So we're going to come back through that those 2 seed beads, the diamond bead and the 2 seed beads. Going to go back through that fire polished bead on the next medallion. Go back through these 2 seed beads. Go back through the diamond bead and the 2 seed beads. Diamond and 2 seed beads. And then go back through. Now, from here, you can weave this thread back into this medallion and tie off and start using this working thread on your next medallion to connect everything. But I think I'm just going to work with this thread as long as possible because I don't like taking my needle off my thread that many times. So I'm just going to work this in here. And get my thread positioned to the next fire polished bead so I can connect the next piece. But you can certainly start using that working thread on the next medallion if you want to. If you want to tie off your thread as you go. All right, so now I'm in place to add the next medallion and make sure I'm working with the correct thread here. Yes, I am. So we're just gonna do the same thing. So you'll just repeat that until all of your little medallions are connected. So I'm gonna pick up 2 seed beads, a diamond bead, 2 seed beads, and then we're going to put our next medallion in place. Come through this fire polished bead, and I want to make sure I'm not also going through a seed bead there. There we go. And you do want to make sure that your medallions are all facing up, basically, because you've added those seed beads to the front side. The underside doesn't look the same. Unless you want to try that for a different design variation. I like alternate up and down. That might be interesting. Add 2 more seed beads and come back through the second hole of that diamond bead that's already in place. add another seed bead, and come back through that fire polished bead in the opposite direction. And then reinforce all of that. So it's super easy to do this project. Really easy weaving patterns. It looks super intricate. Like this looks like crazy intricate, but it's really simple techniques that bring it all together, which is what I love about a lot of the Starman TrendSetter patterns. They're really dimensional and intricate looking, but super approachable, which is why it's so fun to share them with you on Facebook Live. And of course, we have lots of bead colors for you to choose from for these projects, so that's fun too. So super fun. Go back through and reinforce. You could even, with these little medallions, you could make more and make matching earrings. That would be really cute. Make a little necklace pendant. You could make a whole set with the techniques that you just learned to make these medallions, because they're so quick and easy. Go back through our fire polished bead here. And we're reinforced. And then you just add more. Keep going. And then once you've added your last medallion, you would add a loop like you did on this end. So really fun bead weaving project. It's super quick for a bead weaving project. Like I said, I whipped up these little medallions yesterday. It took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we're, what, 30 minutes into our live here, and I'm already connecting all these pieces. This is like a 3-hour project. So that's pretty quick for bead weaving. Really pretty. This looks like a majestic treasure. I love it. So we're gonna get in place for the next one. I'm just gonna continue to use the same thread that I've got going on, and then I'll tie off all my extra threads at the end. And then we're in place to add another one. So if you had already added all of the medallions that you wanted to, you would just repeat the steps here to add a loop, and then you just use jump rings to attach your favorite clasp. I think a Tiara cast magnetic clasp would look really good with these beads, especially the colors that I've got going here. Super pretty. I really love these colors that I have, and I do have those linked in the video description if you want to shop those specific colors. I've also got the colors in the original project on the supplies list in our design studio for this tutorial. I've also linked to the general shopping categories for these different bead types, the fire polished, the 11/0 Tohos, and the CzechMates diamonds. So you can pick whatever colors you like. That's the beauty of patterns like these, is you can make them in all kinds of colors. They're really fun to try with different color variations and to make completely different looks. I've got kind of this is kind of like a Southwest type feel here. This is more wintry and regal, I think. So the colors can really change up how the project feels. So really fun one. I'm excited to finish that up and have a beautiful bracelet. Maybe I need to make matching earrings because these would be cute little earrings. You could simply add the loop right there and have earrings. Oh, look, these would be pretty earrings too. Make a little dangle. So super fun project. Hopefully you're inspired by that. It's a fun one and it goes by pretty quick. So that's a good one to try if you have these beads on hand. Maybe you need to just buy one of these bead types that you don't have already. These ones are fairly common, but maybe it's a good time to try these CzechMates diamonds. They're really fun two-hole shape. And we have other tutorials at artbeads.com for how to use these as well. So super fun. So hopefully that was inspiring. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that this video was inspiring and helpful. Let me know if you have any questions about the design. Please make sure to leave a like and a comment. We always love hearing from you. And as always, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you're the first to know when videos like this are out. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.